Hi, I'm Harry Sykes from Enviro Systems. Today we're in South West Wales visiting Rhys. He's going to take us through his farm and tell us a bit about how he manages slurry. Can you tell us a bit about your farm?
Yes, we farm, the name of the farm is Pantglas Home Farm, and it's on the outskirts of Carmarthenshire. We run about 450 cows, averaging about 10,000 litres a year. Cows are housed all year round, fed on a diet of grass, silage, premix, which consists of a blend, maize gluten, molasses and water. Cows are milked twice a day, 12-hour intervals, and milk quality is about 4.2 fat, 3.5 protein. We do 4 to 5 cuts of silage a year, depending on weather. Obviously this season the weather is a bit of a hindrance. We got good growth, but harvesting is a bit of a headache, so we're running a little bit behind where we'd like to be cutting. So the quality won't quite be there in the silage, but then it'll clamp better.
So what keeps you motivated?
Just to keep improving the farm, really. It's our home at the end of the day, so we want it to last for the next 40 to 50 years, really. We've done a lot of improvements for the last couple of years. We've put new buildings up. It's about 350 odd cubicles gone in, a new slurry lagoon's gone in, just to modernise the standards. The farming's changing a lot over the next few years. We're trying to keep updating everything to improve efficiency and sustainability on the farm, really. It's sort of the old lagoon wasn't, we only had about 3 weeks to a month storage, and then 2 weeks, so we couldn't use the slurry efficiently as possible. And obviously the winters are getting wetter and wetter, so taking slurry out in the winter is just a headache, really, and it's getting costly with a contractor coming in, but there's no nutrient benefits to the ground. So then we decided that we need to improve the infrastructure, and then we built this lagoon which will hold about 3 million gallons, and it'll just tie us over the winter then. So we saw all clay, there's enough clay in the soil, so we didn't need to line it or anything. And there's a ramp to go into the lagoon, so we can clean it out with the JCB once it's low enough to keep on top of it. We use sawdust, so there's no sand, so the bugs and everything most of the slurry will get pumped out by the umbilical or tankers and dribble bar then.
So how do you manage your slurry and what techniques are you using?
The slurry, so the sheds above us now, all the slurry is scraped into a slat. It comes down a massive pipe and then into this lagoon then. Then we'll add the bugs once a year on the new system, and then pumping wise, all the slurry is pumped, all the ground around us is pumped by the umbilical system and dribble bar then, and the off-lying ground then we'll have a contractor brings about 6 or 7 tankers, and we cart it down there and pump it out straight from tanker to pump then. We'll do about 3,000 gallons an acre then, before first cut, after first cut, second and third and fourth, until the pit is low enough empty, really. So but I feel that we're not maximising yield as a grass at the moment, so I want to maximise the yield potential of grass, and then once we've hit the yield potential, we reduce a bit more fertiliser then. But we're short on land and there's a lot of stock here, so we feed really heavy, so it's important to get as much out of the ground as we can. So I say this year now we've gained, it's taken about 2 to 3 years since the lagoon's been in to build up soil fertility, and obviously the quality of the silage is improving. The sugar levels have gone right up, because previously we wouldn't have had any sugar levels in the grass, and the fermentation is a lot better. It's a lot sweeter silage, so we put that down to the slurry, really, because we've got about 4 to 5 weeks after 4 to 5 weeks after we put the slurry out to harvest the grass, whereas before you'd do 2 weeks and then you'd have to try and pump a little bit because of the storage facilities, really.
So what sort of issues were you having with your slurry before?
The slurry was too thick to pump. We had a little hole in the side of the ground there. We'd have to pump water into it to thin it down. It was constantly too thick to do anything with it. And then obviously the storage of the summer, we had high fertiliser costs. We had a lot of wasted, there's a lot of nutrients in the slurry that we weren't receiving into our ground. So it just didn't make any sense to keep doing what we were, really. It's a massive investment, but the returns are filtering through, which covers the cost of the loans and to pay for the buildings and improvements and efficiencies on the farm.
Do you see any efficiency with the contractors?
Yes, we're using less. There's a lot less diesel being used with the slurry since the bugs. And then mixing it, we can just mix it 2 or 3 hours in advance and it'll last all day. Then whereas the slurry now, I might say it's about 3 weeks since we pumped out last, so there's minimal crust, whereas prior to that we'd have had a good 2.5 foot crust all over this lagoon, so it would take a lot of mixing to try and get that turning. But now 2 hours, and we've only got a small slurry stirrer. We stir it up ourselves and that does the job fine then.
Yeah. So what was it initially that caught your eye about the SlurryBugs? How come you went down that route?
We needed to improve efficiency of the farm, which is always the main driving point, and also we needed to try and get rid of this crust, because this crust is clean off. When you got 2.5 feet of crust all over this lagoon, it just won't shift, and then it was separating. So we thought the bugs, obviously EnviroSystems, they're the longest company that have been doing bugs, so we thought we'd stick with them because they're more tried and tested, and then go from there then really.
What would you say to other farmers about SlurryBugs?
I'd say if you've got a good lagoon for storage, I'd recommend using the bugs, because the overall, even though there's a fair cost outlay, but you will see the benefits easily within the 12 months of using them. And it just simplifies the job, makes it easier, and you've got a more valuable product to put on the fields then, which you get in return in terms of the grass growth, which is going forward into sustainability. It's all as farming's about really. You know, you can minimise some costs, but some costs will go up. You can't take everything out of all the costs out of the farm directly. But improvements, yeah, that we'll see. I expect over a season, 300 acres a time. So yeah, we see nearly 1,000 tonne of grass extra a season just by having the slurry storage and the bugs and everything working, grown on the same ground. So there's no extra, that silage have been previously been bought in. So there's no extra contractor costs or anything like that. It's just a saving by just better efficiency of the farm really.